What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to a couple of subscribers for showing love to the channel. Much respect to Joshua Sutton for the donation to the channel. Much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV. Also want to give a shout out to President Wah for the donation to the channel. Says, keep up the hard work, OG. Love your videos. Alright, much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV. Alright. So, it really ain't much going on, man. I'm still not 100% health-wise, man. So bear with me. If you hear a lot of furious coughing and shit. But, one thing, this is annoying me, man. And I'm trying not to pick on this guy. I'm trying not to make it seem like I'm hating on Jokic. But there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of biases that I'm seeing in the media when it comes to Nikola Jokic. I don't want to focus on Luka because Luka, he's only going into year 5, so he's still a little bit too early. But Nikola Jokic, there's this campaign now for him to win his 3rd league MVP, right? And it's not even like a debate anymore. It's like he's the landslide leader. And what bothers me is that the narrative changes every year for Nikola Jokic in order for him to win it, right? Now, the last few years that he's won the MVP, I think Denver was like the 4th seed and then the 6th seed. And obviously, because of those years, the team did have some injuries, and Jokic, by extension, had to do more. His numbers were more gaudy, so the argument was, look at what Jokic is doing on a depleted team. So he won the MVP based upon doing so much on a depleted roster. But yet nobody, and I mean nobody, really makes that argument for Giannis Antetokounmpo this year. I mean, for the most part, there's been no Chris Middleton. For long stretches, there's been no Drew Holiday. Without those two, there's really no consistent secondary scorer. Up until recently, and I believe that Giannis is out tonight, and I think the reason why Giannis's last few performances have been poor is because I believe there's something going on with his knee. But I said that with Giannis doing so much heavy lifting, at one point he was averaging nearly 33 points a game, that was going to catch up with Giannis. On a championship team or a championship contending team, Giannis should be averaging more like 28, 29, not 33. But nobody argues, oh, well, look at Giannis doing all of this on a depleted team. All right? And they never really took Joel Embiid seriously. Now, look, I think Joel Embiid wanted it too fucking much, but it is what it is. Now, all of a sudden, it's because, well, Joker has the best record in the I think in the NBA, at least in the Western Conference, but I think in the NBA. So now, since he's the 1st seed, that's the reason why he should get the MVP. But that wasn't enough for other players who's in those positions before. Like, okay, should Curry have gotten a couple of more MVPs? Being the 1st seed, or whoever these other years when other players were the stars of their teams when they was at the first seed, they didn't get it. And then another thing that doesn't seem to exist for him is voter fatigue. That seems to always be a problem with most players. Even Michael Jordan in the 90s experienced voter fatigue when it came to the MVP voting. But magically, not Nikola Jokic. Magic Johnson, all these other great players suffered from voter fatigue when it came to the MVP race. Now, Nikola Jokic may very well win his third consecutive MVP award. But I'm sorry. I don't want to hear no bullshit about, the team just didn't come through. I don't want to hear no narrative about the team didn't come through for Jokic when this nigga loses all the time, but everybody else get the business. Nobody want to hear that shit. Nobody want to hear when certain athletes lose, it's the team. That seems to be the case with people like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Luka Doncic, this guy. It's always the team didn't come through. But then, if I watch a game with the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis goes out there and drop 46 points and grab 24 rebounds and dish out 8 assists, but his teammates go like a combined of fucking 11 or 58 and they lose by 3, well, Giannis should have did more. Giannis should have had 50. So no, if the guy wins 3 MVPs, now you get into a point where he has more MVPs than Karl Malone, more MVPs than Kobe, more MVPs than Shaq. Just as many as Bird. And hell, when Bird won his third MVP, at least Bird had 3 championships. When Magic won his third MVP in 1990, Magic already had 5 championships. This would be the only guy in the history of the NBA whose greatness comes off of just numbers. Last I checked, all the greats had to win hardware. Even Moses Malone, with 3 MVPs, has a championship. Nah, it ain't gonna be about just numbers for some motherfuckers. And other players, they always gotta win a championship. Fuck nah.